Hi, I'm Ray.
And I'm Saren.
We're your Spider Baby hosts from To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast, as well as proud members of the collective.
You're listening to Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to make sure you know all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on all new episodes of Wade's World, Boob Windows and Long Boxes, our Hard R movie reviews, and so much more, all completely uncensored. Access starts for as little as $1 a month, full videos when you pledge $3 a month. Check us out at the link in all of our show notes, or just go straight to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
I love Ben Reilly.
Don't we all? Hello. That's right. It's the last Tuesday of the month. You know what that means. It's time for another Scarlet Spider. The Scarlet Pimps. I am Phil. Yes. No Matt Kona this time, but on the other side of the world, yeah, that's right. Look, what brings the world together? Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, bobblehead Funkos. That's right. I am Phil. And he who is still basking in the glow of Moon Knight #1, it is.
Hello, everyone. Ray here, Scarlet Pimp Ray. It's in disguise now with my blue hoodie. Unless you look at the video. How you going, Phil? To be back.
I'm good. It's great to talk to you again.
This is going to be an interesting episode. Plenty of things happening with Ben Reilly.
Oh yeah, this is episode and next episode will be quite interesting. But I'm trying to remember. I think it's been a while since we only do this monthly. I don't think we ever got to talk the news of Ben Reilly is coming back as Spider-Man in the comics. I think in the fall.
Yeah.
In a few months here.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be big. I'm glad it hasn't come yet because just kind of catching up on stuff, and but I'm assuming, of course, Phil, you're gonna be picking up that. But yeah, I mean that'll be good. I mean we'll get Ben back right in all kind of like front and center, so that will be fun to see. Do you know what's the lead up to it? I've been totally out of touch with Amazing Spider-Man for a fair bit.
It should be a nice jumping on point because Nick Spencer is leaving to do something else outside of Marvel. So, yeah, it should be a nice jumping on point. It should be like a brand new arc for the most part. And they're going to do like they did for Brand New Day. Like I'll have to look up the names. It's going to be that thing where it's going to be 3 issues of Amazing Spider-Man a month. And they're going to have like the rotating, they have like a couple writers like Kelly Thompson. I'm trying to remember who else.
Kelly Thompson?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know, yeah, she's excellent, Kelly Thompson.
A little bit of a shout out, sorry, while you're looking for that, Phil, big shout out to Kelly Thompson on the Eisner Awards. That's a new series with Black Widow. And I'm going to butcher her name, Elena Casagrande, I think. Phenomenal so. Artist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I found the article. Yes, it's going to be Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, who's writing Miles Morales Spider-Man right now.
He's been doing that for a while.
Oh, yeah. He's up to like issue 28 on that, yeah. Cody Ziegler, Patrick Gleason, who's usually an artist, but I guess he's going to try his hand at writing, and Zeb Wells.
Oh, he's writing. Okay. Oh, Zeb Wells is cool as well. I like Zeb Wells' stuff.
So I guess it's going to be like Brand New Day. They're going to like rotate through, like, I don't know if someone's going to do an arc, then the next one, arc,
Yep. Cool. That sounds great. I mean, I'm going to have to pick it up. You said okay, so we got maybe a month and a bit away.
I think it said October, so yeah, it's a few months away.
October. Okay.
Like maybe.
Just incidentally as well, Phil, I mean, just while I have you here, because Dark Ages, have you heard about that? Like,
I did see that, yeah, by Tom Taylor. That's is that like,
that looks interesting.
Is that like it's like an alternate reality thing or something, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, that's an easy way to pitch it. I don't know whether it has anything to do with the Darkhold, but it looked interesting as well. And I just remembered that's coming out in October as well. So
yeah,
there's a fair few projects that they're obviously starting to announce.
Well, some of the teaser images, it looks like an older Peter Parker with a daughter. So I'm thinking it's Lord.
Yeah,
Russell's in the room. A wild sausage man has appeared.
Wow, the sausage hasn't. thankfully.
Whoa! Yeah, Russell, I don't need that, please.
Sausage!
Hey, Russell, Lilith misses you. Where's this?
Does Russell like it long? Does Russell like it hard?
I reckon Russell likes it all night.
Hey-oh! And you know what drop we play on every episode of our Batman podcast, Ray?
Ray's not gonna hear this. Ray's not gonna hear this.
I do drop in every now and again. I lurk. I'm one of those seedy Gotham lurkers.
I
don't know.
I love Batman.
That was Batman's voice as well.
Yeah, so much.
Sorry,
I was gonna say a lot to talk about.
It's a lot of meat.
Yeah, it's a lot of Deary me.
Oh Lord, Russell. The end of Masters of the Universe Revelation brought my sausage to attention.
Oh, jeez. Me too as well. Well done, sausage.
I haven't watched it. Yeah, like I said, I watched it as a kid, and I haven't had a chance.
It's really good. It's pretty quick. Like, it's only 5, and they're about less than half an hour each. So, highly worth it. And don't listen to all.
Lilith.
Do you know what Lilith? Does she hate it?
Yeah, there's some choices she didn't like in there. I know. There's a character death
really?
She didn't like. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was great. I think it's nice and fresh. Anyway.
Well, she said you're easy. So.
Well.
She's not wrong. Oh, good Lord. But yeah, I can't wait for October for, the return of Riley as Spider-Man. As you can see in the sketch.
What was his, where did we leave him? Like, was it the Peter David run? Is that the latest? Right
now, he's part of a team Iron Man put together in the Iron Man book.
Oh, that's right.
He's working as Scarlet Spider right now. So,
oh, great. Mm-hmm. Working with Tony Stark, and he's still got the tattered hoodie. Or
it's the classic book. Yeah.
What a hobo! I thought Stark would have upgraded him. Deary me.
It's like a last minute thing. He's like, I need help. Korvac's coming.
Korvac's coming. So yeah, let's bring Ben Reilly in. Probably the first name I would think of.
I forget the excuse they use, but it's like, he's like, I can't go to the Avengers. I can't go. He had to go like more underground. So yeah, so he got It's like Frogman, Ben Reilly, the Gargoyle. Who else? Misty Knight. Yeah.
He got the dregs. Let's face it.
How dare you? Ben Reilly's A-list. He's going to be A-list in October again.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, just needs. I'll be up for an. Look, as much as I love his classic costume, I'll be up for a bit of an upgrade. He just seems, the ripped sleeves seems a little bit, time to fix that, Ben. Yeah.
All right. So do you want to jump into we got 3 issues this episode?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So, yes, this is all the Greatest Responsibility arc. And it begins in Amazing Spider-Man 406. I love that cover art. Of course, it's Bagley, so of course I love that cover art.
I wonder why. Yes.
With the new Doctor Octopus from October 1995. Writer J.M. DeMatteis. Friend of the show, Mr. J.M. DeMatteis, who said he will join us once again on episode 150 of Ultimate Spider-Cast to discuss The Child Within.
Okay.
Fair, yeah. That's one of his favorites, he said.
This is J.M. DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
That's right. Penciler Angel Medina, inker Larry Mulstead and Randy Emberlin, colorist Bob Sharon, letterer Bill Oakley, editor Danny Fingeroth, and the title is Crossroads. All right. With the help of Seward Trainer, the Scarlet Spider uses virtual reality to search through cyberspace for clues to who stole data from his computer database. Oh, trust me, in the next couple months, we're going to get more into the virtual reality and the cyberspace. Oh, you could tell. It's
cutting edge. Cutting edge stuff.
Oh, just wait. You could tell old men were writing this. However, the search is cut short when antiviral programs begin attacking him. Seward manages to guide the spider out of cyberspace and pulls off the VR helmet before Ben's brain can get fried. Raleigh returns the favor and by pulling Seward to safety just as the computer system begins to overload and explode. Meanwhile, Spider-Man clings to the side of his home thinking about everything that has happened to him recently. The first thing being the recent discovery that he is not the original Peter Parker, but a clone. I'll see how long that lasts. Worse, he also discovered that the Jackal implanted psychic time bombs in his mind. Yeah, remember last time, kids?
Yep.
Thanks to these mental triggers, he almost killed his wife, Mary Jane, but managed to fight them off before he committed the unspeakable. So we won't speak about it. Although the danger is over for now, he fears what other surprises that Miles Warren may have implanted in his brain. His thoughts are interrupted by his wife, Mary Jane, who has come looking for him because she knows that he is worried. She has grown bored waiting for her brooding husband to come back on his own and tells Peter to come home so they can start living happily ever after with their new baby because they deserve it. Peter is convinced and web slings away with his pregnant wife in his arms. Okay, we're both fathers. You think it's completely 100% safe to be web swinging with a pregnant woman?
I know, isn't it? It's kind of like eating seafood, isn't it? It's a bit touch and go. You don't know. I guess he backs himself. Good on him. Well done, Peter. But seriously, look, actually, he's got I didn't notice that. He's actually got her on a sling as well, which is cool. Yeah,
that's true.
There you go. She's got a seatbelt.
It's like you could go web swinging, but don't get in the hot tub afterwards. Let's see. At that moment, the new female Doctor Octopus is summoned to her lab by Dr. Bruckner, who has an emergency. She is told about the breach of their computers. However, the intruder failed to recover the stolen data. Seward trainers research on breaching the barrier from virtual and normal reality. She intends to use this technology in much the same way that her beloved Otto Octavius created his mechanical arms. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they said the beloved. I don't think they were dating. I think she was just like his student or something.
I think more so just, I don't know, respect or kind of like, him respecting his brilliance, I guess, his genius. Yeah.
Not his haircut.
No. Speaking of haircuts, we get a few haircuts here. No, they're just short of Ben Reilly. I think it's pretty much, as you're reading the synopsis, I'm going through the comic, as you're reading it, and there's that page where Ben's just standing there. Billy Ray Cyrus will be proud. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the weird thing with like Ben Reilly and sometimes Peter this era. Like one issue, they'll have short hair, then the next one it'll be like down past their shoulders, and it's like,
I know, time lapse. What's going on?
These writers just
continuity.
Yeah, writers, pick something. Come on. Where did I leave off? Wait, where did I leave off? Oh, yeah. While back at Seward Trainer's lab, Seward and Ben go over the little bit of data they pulled from the invading computer. Unfortunately, all they have is a strange octopus-shaped logo. As they try to figure out what this means, they are interrupted by the Parkers, who have come so Seward can scan Peter's mind to make sure that there are no mental time bombs waiting in his mind. As one test starts, so does another, this time on the streets of New York. Minions of Doctor Octopus unleash her prototype virtual reality bomb.
It's awesome.
Oh my!
I'd like to have a virtual reality bomb.
Whoa.
No, why not? Just as long as it's good. Have you ever done the VR stuff, Phil?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have one here, but I've done it before. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I did it for work because I don't know, listeners probably don't know. I work within the university, looking at the teaching spaces, and someone came in trying to sell these VR things, and like this is how you can look at projects, and I put it on. It was pretty good. Like we had to use a whole classroom and like put all the furniture aside, but you had, it was a bit weird because you couldn't see where you're going, but it was fun. I thought it was good. As long as the graphics are good, I'll be happy.
Oh,
but we're talking about the 90s here, so
yeah.
I'm thinking it's kind of like Spawn movie level graphics.
Oh. I was going to say, wait, so students are going to have to watch you in VR?
It was just a really nice package.
All right. Yes, so much to their delight, they make a section of the city briefly transform into a prehistoric jungle complete with hungry dinosaurs. The reality distortion ends as quickly as it begins. Just nothing happens. That evening, Peter and Mary Jane have a romantic dinner to celebrate Peter's clean bill of health. As the pair dance, Peter kisses his wife when suddenly Mary Jane feels the baby kick. Putting his hand on her belly, Peter also feels the baby kicking. Overwhelmed with happiness, the couple both begins to cry and then embrace.
It moved. They could feel like, 8 legs kicking.
Oh.
That'd be weird, though. What would happen? What would you do?
I know.
What would you do, Phil? What would you do if you felt it and you felt like...
I mean, I think they've already had tests. They know the baby doesn't have 8 legs, but...
Yeah. But, you never know. They could get it wrong.
I mean, Peter's not even a full spider. He doesn't even have, organic webbing, so it's like...
I know. He should be shooting it out of his butt if he's a real spider.
Mm-hmm. The thing you'd have to worry about with one of Peter's babies is super strength,
Oh my gosh, yeah, I would not want to be MJ.
Yeah, I know.
One big kick. Oh God. That's not good.
Yeah, speaking of one of the podcasts you do, that's why you don't get pregnant with Superman's baby,
Exactly. I know, laser eyes, whatever.
Strength. Yeah.
Strength.
At that moment, Sewer Trainer continues to go over the data when he is interrupted by Doctor Octopus. She was able to gain access to his lab because she knows the passcode. What? That's when the Scarlet Spider leaps down to attack her. However, she is prepared for the hero, not just with her mechanical arms, but also with a personalized force field that she uses to deflect the hero's attack. Restraining Sewer Trainer, she explains she is doing this because she holds scientific achievement above human life. Recovering from her attack, the Scarlet Spider asks Seward who this woman is to him. That's when Doctor Octopus reveals that she is the daughter of Seward Trainer.
Yeah. Who's your daddy?
Oh.
It's This is good though. She was quite formidable. I like the if we're kind of working backwards, I like the fight scene at the end. Just she seems to, in that force field, reminded me a little bit because I'm a geek of Juggernaut, but obviously different capacity. But no, it was and well drawn as well. I've got to say I'm a little bit of a fan of Angel Medina as well, although it's very distinct style. You remember Phil. He was in and around the 90s as well doing. He did a bit of the Hulk as well, and he's a great Hulk. So I like his style. But yeah, Doctor Octopus, she's pretty cool, and she does mention towards the end, he was a mentor and a friend, so nothing kind of romantic in that sense, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty good.
At least she learned from his mistakes with the force field and stuff, because how many shots of webbing, Otto Octavius taken to the face.
Yeah, exactly. No, she's good. She makes for a good Doctor Octopus.
Oh yeah.
But interesting reveal at the end there. It's kind of like, I always kind of think of Star Wars. It's always familial. I'm your father, I'm your daughter, I'm your son. They should have one where it's like, I'm your distant cousin.
Well, that's the joke they do in space. Did you ever see Spaceballs, which is the parody of
Star
Wars?
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ages ago, yeah.
Yeah, because the guy, the Darth Vader parodies I am your brother. It's something like your brother's cousin's uncle's third roommate or something.
I'm your in-law. Oh!
Wow. So,
but what did you think of this?
What?
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I was going to say, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just this virtual reality introduction. I mean, I know we both rolled our eyes on it as well here, Phil, but what do you make of this? It had very little, like, really to do. It was very little, like, involvement in this story, for the most part. But yeah, I don't know. What do you make of it?
Well, like I said, in 2 months we're going to start getting into that. But yeah, I mean, it's like between illusions and like people like just going into cyberspace and stuff, because we getting that like starting in like 2 months. Yeah.
It'd be funny if they start talking about email addresses. It's like, you know, it's like these old guys. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, this issue was, I think I took mostly art from it, the cover and Angel Medea's inside stuff. James G. Mateus' writing, I mean, it's great and solid as ever. There's a lot that does pack in here as well. There are some pages where I think the text, but I guess he had to explain a lot. I mean, there's a lot of, setup, because this is, part one. But for the most part, it was decent. I wouldn't say it's not by any means a great issue.
Again, it's not only setting up this arc, but there's something coming which we'll hit in like 2 months. Yeah. So
yeah.
It's,
and we still get a bit more of MJ's pregnancy. That's bubbling along. So, so all the wheels are in motion here.
Oh yeah. All right. So should we get to the second part?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So part 2 is from Spider-Man 63. Again, October 1995. This time, writer Howard Mackey, our buddy Howard Mackey.
Yeah.
Who we talked to on Ray's Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. I almost hurt myself. This time, penciler. This is an old school guy, Gil Kane.
Oh, wow.
Who I believe penciled some Spider-Man in the past, but I know he did some like Green Lantern and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Inker Tom Palmer, colorist Kevin Tinsley, and Malibu color letterer Richard Starking's Comic Craft. And for some reason, it doesn't have an editor. Or wait, or does it? The editor-in-chief was Buddy Ansky, but I don't see a regular editor on here. Okay.
Wow.
The title, The Kick Inside.
Oh.
So is this going to be about Mary Jane? What?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right. So this one starts. Peter Parker sits up in bed watching his wife Mary Jane sleep. After feeling his...
Creepy.
Well, again, this is psyche. Yeah, I think it's another time bomb, I think. After feeling his unborn child kick for the first time earlier that evening, he can't help himself and reaches out to see if he can feel it kick again. Reaching over to her in the middle of the night. Isn't that what got you in this situation in the first place?
Exactly.
When he does...
And I don't know about you. I don't know about you, Phil, as well. That's how I sit up in bed with, like you said, Peter. Like he's hunched like a spider. It's crazy. Yeah, anyway.
Again, I think he gets comfortable in different positions. When you're...
Yeah, he's used to it. Yeah.
When he does so, he wakes up Mary Jane, who understands Peter's excitement, but insists that she needs some sleep. Again, if he had been sleeping the first time. Since Peter is alert and awake, Mary Jane suggests that Peter go out web-slinging to burn off energy, telling him to be safe and make it back in one piece. Changing into Spider-Man, Peter goes web-slinging, happy with where his life is going, even though he just learned that he is actually a clone. He finally believes that his life is going in the right direction and wonders if Ben Reilly can say the same. Speaking of, at that moment, the Scarlet Spider is reeling back from the revelation that the new Doctor Octopus is the daughter of his friend Seward Trainer. Despite this, the new Doctor has broken into Seward's lab, and the Scarlet Spider's intent to stop her. Dr. Octopus is particularly angry that Seward has treated Ben like a son while abandoning and ignoring his own daughter. When the spider leaps at her, he slams right into her force field. She then tosses Seward into his would-be savior. Seward demands to know what his daughter wants, but she is uninterested in sitting down to talk about it. Feeling that the opportunity is long past, she has come to take her father's research on cyberspace, but he refuses to hand it over. As the Scarlet Spider insists on getting Seward to safety, but Trainer refuses to run from his own daughter. Still, the web-slinger insists on it and leaps out a nearby window with Seward in his arms. Meanwhile, Spider-Man has been spending his time catching crooks all over the city. Spotting some squad cars speeding across the city, the wall crawler's spider sense begins going off, and he decides to investigate. For some reason, he thinks that this might have something to do with the Scarlet Spider. Because there's no other superheroes in Marvel New York.
Exactly. That's a little bit of kind of self-indulgent thinking, isn't it? Come on, Spidey. There are plenty. Could be Daredevil. Could be the New Warriors.
I mean, it's the 90s. It could be like Darkhawk or something.
Yeah. Punisher.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. I invoked Darkhawk's name.
The yin to Darkhawk's yang.
Matt Kona.
He gives me his bone.
Whoa.
The live reads always pay off. All right. We miss you, Matt. All right. At that same moment, the Scarlet Spider has gotten Seward to safety and demands to know more about this new Doctor Octopus. Seward, however, points out that this isn't the time to go into his family history. The Spider is inclined to agree when his spider sense goes off, warning him of an ambush by Doctor Octopus. He tells Seward to get to safety as he engages in battle again. But the Scarlet Spider can't get through the Doctor's force field. That's when Spider-Man arrives to lend a hand. Unfortunately, Doctor Octopus manages to strike Spider-Man from behind, sending him over the side of the roof. Disoriented, the wall crawler is unable to prevent the Doctor from getting a good grasp on him. She offers a trade, Spider-Man for her father. While over the edge of the building, Spider-Man is slowly being strangled. As he struggles to break free, he fears what might happen to his wife if he were to die right here. Meanwhile, the Scarlet Spider manages to disorient Dr. Octopus with his impact webbing.
Couple of balls down the gob. Couple of balls down the gob.
Which manages to weave its way up her mechanical arms through the tiny gaps in her force field. He then leaps over the edge of the building and rescues Spider-Man, swinging to the ground below. Unfortunately...
That's pretty impressive. Sorry, Phil. That's pretty impressive impact webbing.
Oh, yeah.
Could actually penetrate the force field. I mean, even... I'm going to call her Doc Ock. She gets really taken aback by it. It actually starts crawling up her arm. So this is new from the impact webbing, but I guess it's because it's so concentrated, right? Generally it just like thumps into you and just spreads out. I guess it's doing that, but in a slower way.
I guess, yeah. And then, I guess there must be at least a small enough hole in that force field for her arms to come out. So yeah, it must get.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
The 90s. But yeah, I
like how we're trying to explain comic science. It's like there's got to be a hole in the force field there big enough for the webbing to get through. Yeah, totally agree.
I know it's it's like yeah, there's a hole in that force field.
Yeah, whatever.
Unfortunately, Dr. Octopus gets away. By the time the authorities arrive, Seward Trainer decides that his daughter is out of control and agrees to let the Scarlet Spider stop her his own way. When he asks Spider-Man to help, the wall crawler is still shaken by the fact that he almost died. He has a lot of thinking to do and swings away to talk to Mary Jane before he decides what to do next. All right, Ray, thoughts?
Well, it took bloody Seward long enough to come to the realization that, she needs to be stopping. And Ben, could you please help out? I mean, I guess he was a parent in denial, but fair enough. Always fun to see Spider-Man and Ben team up together. And, this is what I like about like the 90s comics. You get a lot more just really simple stock standard fights.
Yeah.
And you can showcase both of them. And we were just talking about the absurdity, but the fun of that impact webbing going through the force field. I love modern comics as well, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they kind of gloss over action scenes, and sometimes it's fun to just like immerse yourself in it and see how characters will go up against someone. So I like how Howard Mackey's, obviously during the time he's kept that in this. I mean, Doctor Octopus she's still quite formidable as well. The art was. I thought the art was preferred much the art in the previous issue. But this is. I mean, I do like Tom Palmer stuff, so the inking's quite good. I don't know. What do you think?
Like I said, Gil Kane's like an old school like artist. Like I think he's like an older man at this point. So I mean, the art's not bad, but I just think it's very different than, you know, the previous issue from Angel Medina, and even different than what we get from Sal Buscema next issue. So it's like, I don't think any of the art is bad on these, but all three of them are so like distinct and different.
They are. I will call out though. I do think the front cover is a little flat. It might be very old school art there, but if you look at it, it does look like I don't know. I don't know how to best to describe it. Like a digest cover of a comic or something. It's not that detailed and stuff. Still dynamic, but nowhere near, I guess, the level that some of the 90s covers can kind of produce.
Well, again, too, I mean, look, the first part we got a Bagley cover, and then we get this cover,
exactly,
which is a King cover,
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Any other big thoughts here, Phil, of what happens?
No, I mean, it's basically just, you know, Ben trading blows with the new Doctor Octopus. You know, it's, you know, again, I enjoy my 90s, you know, punch 'em ups, but that's pretty much what this was. Yeah,
I'm looking at it, and I mean, you've said it in the synopsis, but basically, it's Ben stealing Seward away from Doc Ock. There's a bit of Mary Jane. I mean, there's even like 3 panels at the back. She just wakes at one of the pages. She wakes up and where's Peter? Oh yeah, he's out. And that was it. It's like, you know, is that necessary? And it's just, then it's just a setup for the Spider-Men to fight Doc Ock. So, yeah, it's a pretty simple story. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
Of course she wakes up in the middle of the night, Ray. We need a lingerie break, okay?
Well, of course. Absolutely. And it's funny. It's funny that, I guess, in contrast, she's actually happy that he's out and about. You know, how she's generally kind of worried and scared when he's gone and waiting for him to kind of come home safe. It is kind of a bit of a point of difference here that she's kind of like, oh, I hope he's having fun.
I wonder if it's just that it's like, you know, before he was like more of a loner. Now she's like, oh, Ben's out there too. Okay.
Either that or maybe a bit of baby brain.
Oh. She just wants her sleep at this point. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, making the most of sleep before, you know. But yeah, that was pretty good. We didn't rate the first one, but I mean, I'd give this probably a touch below the Amazing Spider-Man, but it's still a fun enough read. But it doesn't really, there's nothing deep or, you know, intriguing here. It's a straight up kind of fight, a chase and fight. At least in the last episode, we had the reveal of I am your daughter. So yeah.
All right, ready to get to the next one? I believe it's Oversized.
Yep.
All right, so yes, Part 3, Spectacular Spider-Man 229. And you're reading these all digitally, right?
Yeah, so I'm pulling it up now on
yeah. Because that's like I'm reading these all digital right now, but I have like the floppies of these. This Spectacular Spider-Man cover, like the print one, it's pretty neat because it's like it's got like the it's a clear cover on top, like where you see where Peter and Mary Jane and all the like words and stuff are. That's like the top layer, and then you like turn that back, that clear page, and then you just see the Ben Reilly behind it.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
You know, one of those gimmicky 90s covers, but it worked pretty good.
I love it. They had those gimmicky covers, remember, not that long ago, with those lenticulars. That obviously must have died in the arse because they haven't done anything since, right?
I think
I liked it.
I think the modern take on that is doing variant covers.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. 30 plus variant covers. And if you like, yeah. Anyway.
Was that Moon Knight number 1, 30 some?
40. I think it read 40. Oh. Yeah. But you know, some of them, a fair few of them were like really hard to get, you know. Yeah. 1 to 20 or something. Version covers, all that sort of stuff.
I mean, it's such a money grab, but the good thing I take from that though is like there must be a lot of excitement for Moon Knight because I don't think they would put out 40 some covers if they didn't think they were going to go, you know. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That or the fan base is quite hardcore. But yeah. So if you compare the two, Phil, I reckon I love the gimmicky covers over the variants because number one, it's cheaper. There's only one of them, and actually you'd kind of get better value out of it, right? Because it's the only kind of special cover for that issue. whereas you have 40-odd covers for the other one. But, I like it. I like the innovation. They've got in Valiant Comics, they've released a glass cover. Could you believe?
A glass?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're still doing those kind of sorts of covers. Anyway.
All right. I'm still trying to figure out how to do, like, gimmicks for, episode art.
Yeah.
Holographic. Foil. All right, so yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man 229, again, October 1995. Writer Tom DeFalco.
Yes.
Penciler Sal Buscema, so you know someone's getting right crossed across the room. Anchor Bill Sienkiewicz, who I think Ray might know.
Well, you can tell. Yeah, you can tell from this issue. But.
Yeah. Colorist John Calise, and Malibu Color, letterer Clem Robbins, editor Eric Fiend. Title No More the Hero. Oh Lord, that costume's not going in the trash can, but wait till you see where it goes at the end, kids. Spider-Man and the Scarlet Spider crash a chop shop in an attempt to learn more about the new Doctor Octopus that has recently surfaced. Why are you going after car thieves to look for Doctor Octopus?
It's a bit of a random.
Must be getting desperate, I guess. The crooks quickly fold, but they don't know anything about Dr. Octopus. When one of the thugs begs to be let go, telling Spider-Man that he has a wife and child at home. As he has a wife and child of his own, Spider-Man loses his temper and rhetorically asks him who would look after his family if he goes to jail. Meanwhile, Mary Jane is modeling more maternity clothing for a photo shoot. After it is finished, she suddenly faints, prompting the staff to call for an ambulance. On his way home, Spider-Man thinks about how his life has changed since it was revealed that he is the clone and the Scarlet Spider is the original. The Scarlet Spider breaks up the silence by asking Peter if his lecture to the crook was more about himself than anyone. They go in through the skylight of Parker's home to discover that Mary Jane is not back yet. That's when the phone rings. It is the hospital telling them that they have Mary Jane. The hospital tells them they have Mary Jane, prompting Peter and Ben to rush there as quickly as possible. It's there that the doctors tell Peter that Mary Jane has microscopic traces of radiation that are having an adverse effect on her pregnancy.
And can I just incidentally say as well, Phil, I'm glad to see Ben Reilly sporting the generic MCU disguise, i.e. the baseball cap, the sunglasses, and the jacket. So, you see that?
He wears his sunglasses at night, yes. I know. Just like, no one will recognize me. Glasses, hat.
Yeah. And it's color coordinated with, what I usually wear. I mean, that at least goes for the Falcon or Steve Rogers in the MCU films, which is funny.
Well, at least he's better than some guys who think just a pair of glasses will do it.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's microscopic traces of radiation. They promise Peter to do whatever they can to help her. That's when Seward Trainer enters the room and offers his expertise to help. After examining Mary Jane, Seward tells Peter and Ben that this was one of the complications that he expected and had an antidote prepared for such a situation. He pulls out his cell phone so he can have it delivered, unaware that his call is being monitored by Dr. Octopus.
Can I also say, sorry, Phil, I've got to stop you there. Hasn't Seward aged since we last saw him as well? His hair is all grey now. He must have been worried sick.
Hey, if that's your daughter, man, you're going to start growing gray hairs,
Exactly.
So he calls for the MacGuffin. But yeah, the call's being monitored by Dr. Octopus and her digitized assistant, the Master Programmer.
Oh, wow. That's too technical for me. But her costume's pretty cool. Look, she's got a change in the costume. And maybe I haven't noticed it before, but I like it looks like she's got that very symbolic octopus, like around her waist with the tendrils. The helmet is good. I didn't like her hair, so I'm glad that she's covered that up.
The pink hair, yeah.
Yeah.
This is so she can blackmail Seward into giving her the decryption request to access his stolen files so she can complete her attempts of merging reality with virtual reality. What does that even mean?
Oh. Then doesn't it just become reality, Ed?
Yes. You're just going to virtual images solid. It's like, well, what does that mean?
I know. So we're just back to square one.
I know. Later, when a messenger heads for the hospital with the antidote, he is jumped by Dr. Octopus's minions. In the hospital, Peter watches over his wife and fears what will happen to her. He also can't believe that he struck her recently and vows to stop creating grief in her life.
We're not going to let you forget about that, Peter. Freaking hell. Anyway.
Every husband has said that, Peter. You cannot do it.
Yes, exactly.
Outside, in the waiting room, Seward Trainer gets a call from his daughter, who demands his decryption codes in exchange for the antidote. When he tells Peter what happened, Parker refuses to do nothing while his wife is in danger. After convincing Mary Jane that he has to go, Peter changes into Spider-Man and joins Seward and the Scarlet Spider to make the exchange. The two spiders hide out while Seward waits for the drop-off at the pier. When the minions of Doctor Octopus arrive, they figure out that the wall crawlers will follow... that the wall crawlers are following them, and they find and destroy the spider tracer planted by Seward. The feedback briefly stuns the two heroes. I love that. It was some device. They're both like, ah! Yeah. Quickly recovering, they notice the van Seward has been taken and hasn't moved from its spot. Checking inside, they find the vehicle empty. Realizing that their foe's hideout is underwater, they dive in after him.
Oh, I like the fact it's very kind of easily missed, but Spider-Man just one-handed lifts the van. I love that. Just to check the escape route underneath. Yeah, I
love when they show like him using strength like that. Yeah, it's just like nothing.
Yeah.
Doctor Octopus takes the opportunity to gloat before the master programmer reminds her of the task at hand. The master programmer. Maybe when we finish this issue, I'll tell you who the master programmer is.
Okay,
it's someone you'll know.
Oh.
As Seward begins, because it comes up after it's finally revealed. I think at the end after the Clone Saga. So after Seward begins decrypting his data, Spider-Man and the Scarlet Spider crash into the lab and begin fighting off her minions. While they are busy, Octopus flees with Seward. Noticing that she is gone, the two spiders split up to search for Seward and the antidote. Back at the hospital, Mary Jane waits for Peter to return home and wonders how many times she will have to endure Peter putting his life in jeopardy. Back in Dr. Octopus's lair, Spider-Man finds the antidote but is ambushed by Dr. Octopus. While in another room, the Scarlet Spider finds Seward Trainer only to be ambushed by the Master Programmer's automated defense systems. I know, lasers. As Spider-Man battles Doctor Octopus, she rants and raves about how her father abandoned her and when she was younger. This strikes a chord with Spider-Man, making him think about his own impending fatherhood. Spider-Man then overpowers her and hurls her out of the facility, causing the ceiling to collapse on him. The flooding hideout begins, causing the computer systems to short out. With his existence at risk, the master programmer escapes into cyberspace.
Ooh.
With the death traps shut down, allowing him to free Seward, the Scarlet Spider. In the other room, Spider-Man struggles to get out of the rubble he is buried under. With the room flooding, Spider-Man thinks about how Aunt May taught him everything he knows about responsibility and how he owes it to Mary Jane to free himself. Unfortunately, for all his efforts, Spider-Man can't free himself and is at risk of drowning. However, he was rescued by the Scarlet Spider, who helps lift the rubble off of him. They recover.
I like that riff. I like that riff of, that situation for Spider-Man, but this time round, he can't do it, but he has help. From himself, Ben Reilly.
That's right. Yeah, they've done that how many times? Yeah, he has to lift that great weight off him. They recover the antidote and rush back to the hospital, where it is used to cure Mary Jane. After being reunited with his wife, Peter tells her that he has made an important decision and goes out into the waiting room to talk to Ben. There he tells Ben that he recounts how he learned with great power comes great responsibility and has decided that his responsibilities have changed. He's given Ben Reilly the great power, great responsibility. At this point, they think Ben's the real Peter, so he should be like, yeah, dude, that happened to me. Yeah, I remember it. I'm the one it happened to. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yes, I know. Yeah, like you're telling me the obvious.
So it's basically like, I learned about great power and great responsibility from the memory of you letting your uncle die. Okay.
Yeah. Ben should be like, I know.
I was
there.
So he thinks. Since he is an expecting father, he has decided that it is time to retire as Spider-Man and offers to give Ben his Spider-Man costume. Ben is flattered, but tells Peter to keep the costume, saying that he earned the right to keep it, even suggests that maybe he can make a baby blanket out of it. Yeah, after it's been all over New York. Okay. Peter walks away, looking forward to living happily ever after with Mary Jane, satisfied that Ben Reilly will be a suitable replacement for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, what did you think, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, that last bit, again, working off the last bit, we're flipping and flopping, either side, aren't we, all the time? This whole thing about Peter Parker, Ben Reilly, I guess that's part and parcel of the clone saga. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This was a good issue. It had a bit more breathing space, a bit longer. But the art, I thought the art was good. I really enjoyed it. Sal Buscema, of course, and Bill Sienkiewicz. I know in the past that you've mentioned those two don't marry that well, and they probably don't work for Spider-Man. But maybe I'm getting used to it as well here, like during the Clone Saga as well. But I'm enjoying it. The fight scenes were quite. Buscema does really well with the fight scenes, and there's a lot of it. There's a couple of, I was looking at when they both stormed the headquarters of Doc Ock, and Spider-Man and Ben Reilly, they really go at it. The minions go at the minions really hard. There's a shot there with one guy, it's like his eyes are about to pop out. And then there's another shot the page after, and this guy's face is like swollen as. So they're not holding back over here. The thing with Doc Ock, she's really, I like her in this kind of guise. Her demise is quite funny as well, like, because I don't know, I always find it funny, like with Doc Ock and the long tentacles, and he just grab him and he just swing him around.
I know,
and then let go, and she was helpless because like they're kind of helpless once you do that. You hold their tentacles and yeah.
Once you get them off the ground, yeah.
I don't think those are tentacles.
Jeez, well they're pretty long non-tentacles. I found it good. Again, and this whole tension with Mary Jane and the pregnancy, because pregnancies are quite delicate things, and it's delicate enough as it is because Peter Parker's radioactive. So that was cool. That was a nice way to kind of set things up and have a trade-off, so to speak, between Doc Ock. Well, she was trying to at least trade off. Yeah. But Master Programmer. It's is it Doc Ock?
No? It's a like I said, I was going to mention it, because it gets revealed after the Clone Saga. It's a copy of Otto Octavius's brain. So once Peter's back as Spider-Man, it's like this ninja clan. I think they're an offshoot of the Hand, maybe, but they use their dark magic to like resurrect his body, and then they kind of use the copy, the Master Programmer to. For the brain, and they bring Otto.
Right.
That's how they bring Otto Octavius back. But of course, remember how he found out Peter's identity before he died? Well, this copy was made before he found out Peter's identity. So of course he comes back with no memory of that.
That's smart, actually. I like that. That is smart. So that's kind of nice and clean. And geez, how many times has Doc Ock survived by just his consciousness being input into something else. So
I know.
This was good. I don't know what did you make of this?
Oh, I liked it. I know you said how I was commenting about Sal Buscema and Bill Sienkiewicz. I mean, I actually liked their partnership in this one more than some a lot of the other ones. I thought it worked, especially when in like the underwater stuff, and some of the stuff called for like a darker touch, with like the inks and stuff, and I thought it looked really good. Yeah. And again, this is setting up Ben Reilly. Yeah.
Well, that too as well. Obviously, you and I both love Spider-Man, and obviously that's his title, and we know that the two of them are always going to be part and parcel of this Clone Saga. But coming from a Ben Reilly point of view, this one pretty much he's pretty much really support. He doesn't really have much to do here. He follows Spider-Man. He saves him at the end. He fights his battle in the headquarters, the secret headquarters, and he has a little bit of a role at the end about what to do with the costume. But, if you're a massive, say, Ben Reilly fan compared to a Spider-Man fan, again, his stuff is limited here. But I guess, as you're saying, it's setting up for later on. So, we know he gets his own titles and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking through the notes on this. Yeah, that thing with him trying to lift the weight off him. Yeah, that's a direct homage to Amazing Spider-Man 33 when he found himself in a similar position with the original Doctor Octopus. So, man, they were telegraphing that master planner stuff because I think, or the master programmer, because I think wasn't Doctor Octopus the master planner in that story, and I think his base was underwater. So I mean, they really they're like, that's Otto.
Yeah. And Sewer Trainer as well, I do recall he's changed he's got a bit of a costume as well. It looked almost like Shield-like. I remember we were joking before when we first see him, he almost has like a 90s Cyclops, trench coat and the yellow kind of, but he is a bit more of a Agents of Shield thing. I guess it's just stealthy. And I also like the flippers that the guys make when they jump in the water.
A webbing, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Of course. Remember at the end, Ben's like, keep the costume. You can make a baby blanket out of it. This is saying, that's a joke about Superman because in Superboy 78, it stated that Superman's costume was made from the blankets found in the ship that brought him to Earth.
Oh, okay. Is that a riff? Is like a little riff off? That's funny.
I think that's like Silver Age. But I guess that's like a Superman joke. Yeah.
That's cool. So pretty good issue overall. Probably my favorite out of the three, the ending. So I don't know what I'd give it. Probably B-, something like that.
So what overall or this issue or overall?
Oh no, this issue.
Okay.
And probably overall, I guess, or maybe a C+. Yeah. How about you? You thinking higher?
I'm thinking maybe you said C+. It's got to be at least a little higher. It's got to be at least a B-. I think. I mean, again, between story and art, that middle part kind of drags it down. But like even though the first part was a bunch of setup, the art really helped me, bring that up. And then I really enjoyed. I think the last part was my favorite. So
I mean, if you think I'm just trying to think that middle part. I mean, could you really? It's a big call. I mean, and I don't want to take away from. I can't remember who wrote that one, but could you extract that second part out altogether? Did it really further anything? It was just a fight, right? Between
the only reason it's there, I guess, is what under the pad the issue count, or I mean, it's just they encountered Doctor Octopus. I guess they had the result. That was Howard Mackie. That second part.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, no, it was written. It was fine. It was just that whether or not, that was potentially padding or not. That's the thing. So, I guess they both had to meet Doc Ock. I mean, that was it, really.
Yeah.
Spider-Man meets Doc Ock, and because otherwise, if you didn't have that, you got to this third part, and it's like, oh, how come he's invested? Yeah. So, it was I reckon a B-. I'll bump it up to the B- as well overall.
Okay. I don't want to bully you, but yeah.
No, I mean, it was fun. It's fun to read. And dare I say, I'll definitely be rereading the Clone Saga again.
Oh, nice.
It's very fun doing this read through now as well, but it'd be fun to get the collection, and then just read it, all in a big hit.
All right. So anything else on this, or should we get out of here?
No, I think that's about it. It's good to just have a bit less, again, non-Jackal centric. He's gone. We know that. So it was fun to have a new Doc Ock as well. And I enjoyed, what happened? Just like, I guess finally, what happens to her? Do you know, where is she now?
I mean, there was at least a story or two where she was like hanging out with Otto, but I mean, I don't know if anything really happened to her. I don't think she was killed or anything. They just basically just like phased her out. She's like stopped showing up after a while. So
okay,
especially after the saga, they just started phasing her out. And I think she's still out there somewhere.
So someone like Dan Slott Nick Spencer, whoever can bring her back.
Exactly.
That would be good.
Oh, maybe she'll come back when Ben takes over again.
Oh yeah, yeah, like a little callback to the Clone Saga.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that or they want to. Everyone wants to forget about the Clone Saga. So.
Well, kind of hard when you're bringing Ben Reilly back as Spider-Man.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah, you can't really. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. Oh, and then Peter Parker will be back eventually, but at least for us, for the rest of this year, yeah, it's going to be all Ben Reilly. So,
yeah.
Yeah, baby. All right. So, next week, Lilith Hellfire will be back. You'll hear Amazing Spider-Man 119 and 120 featuring Peter vs. the Hulk.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks, you'll hear Spider-Man and Batman crossover, Disordered Minds by JMD Mateus. Yes, they battle Joker and Carnage.
Oh, wow. Carnage. Wow.
Yeah, there was,
I thought DC and Marvel went separate ways long before Carnage was made.
Yeah, no,
wow.
this was a 1995 story, right around this time, yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. And then the rest of the month, then the week after that, you're welcome, Lilith. Web of Spider-Man 69 and 70.
Whoa.
Featuring more Hulk, including Spider Hulk.
Spider Hulk, yeah. I love that arc. That's great.
And then to round out the month, it'll be Amazing Spider-Man 381 and 382, Spider-Man, Professor Hulk, Doc Samson, Bagley art.
Ooh.
It's all good. And then,
big hitters.
Yes. And then we're going to be recording this soon, but in 1 month, kids, you will hear the next Scarlet Spider episode, Scarlet Spider Unlimited #1.
100% Scarlet Spider. Should be cool.
So
all to do with Scarlet Spider. Yeah.
So we're recording that in a few minutes. So yes, you won't be able to send feedback, but if you want to send it later, we'll still read it. We'll always read
absolutely
feedback. All right. So yes, you won't hear Matt Conan next episode either, but hopefully by the fall, because I know he's been working a lot of hours lately. So
yeah, we miss you, Matt, and hope everything is going well with the fam.
I think he's just trying to stockpile money because with his tour guiding job, it kind of shuts down in the winter. So
yeah, right, yeah, for sure.
All right, kids. So yes, send your thoughts. Email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, Twitter. Find links to all of the various social medias for all the various shows. Find links to this YouTube channel if you're curious what Rey looks like. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go check out our Patreon. More and more stuff happening there, including go get July's Ultimate Spider-Cast Annual, all completely uncensored. Lilith and I covered Amazing Spider-Man 229 and 230, featuring No One Can Stop the Juggernaut.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll be uncensored on Patreon. So yeah, find links to Patreon, find links to merch, all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember, please support all things Southgate Media Group. Go to southgatemediagroup.com. And also, please go check out the Southgate Media Group Patreon. There's free content there. There's paid content there. Also, check out the Southgate Media Group YouTube channel. And, of course, go pick up Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. And when you do, get that on Amazon. Use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and that man who always has trouble underwater, Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain, so says Master Doom. What did you say? Please kick me in the pants. Mark my words.
All right, Ray, I hear you do a few podcasts. What are they, and where can people find them?
Thank you very much, Phil. So kind of you to ask. I host and co-host just a few podcasts, namely the Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. Very excited at the new series that has come out by Jed McKay, Alessandro Capuccio. You can catch our reaction episode and our feedback episode, which has just come out. Everything and anything to do with Moon Knight. Also, To Know Her Is to Fear Her, the Spider-Woman podcast with Saren. Great fun over there. Reading another fantastic series. I mean, we're lucky. by Carlo Pacheco and Perich. That's great. It's always good to get that feedback from you, Phil, as well. And I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it as well, because seriously, those two close to probably my favourite title so far. Just really, really fun stuff. And also, The Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast, something a little different. I dip my toe in the DC side of things. And we talk everything Superman. Most recently, we've released an episode. We have a special guest, and we chat about the Jimmy Olsen, which series, issues 7 and 8, but that maxi series won 2 Eisner Awards. So very, very highly regarded. And we go through that. Very weird issues that we review. So it was really hard to kind of review them. But anyway, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. And the best way to contact me, just seriously at Rey Pod, REY Pod. That's just me. So I'm happy to talk about any of those shows or any other comic book characters that that I have some sort of knowledge in. But yeah, Twitter's the best.
Whoa, that's pretty damn big.
Hey kids, stay tuned right here on the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. In a few weeks here, we're going to be doing a crossover. Me and Lilith will be talking with Ray and Saren. We're going to be doing a Hulk crossover. Part 1 will be here on Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. Part 2 will be on your Patreon, correct?
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to it. I know that you, me and Saren have spoken together. It'd be fun to get all 4 of us together. I'm sure Lilith will have a lot of fun chatting with Saren too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And it'll be some Joe Fix-It Grey Hulk. That's always a good time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Classic story as well. So,
all right. Got plenty of homework, kids. Go do it. Send us feedback. But yes, in 1 month, catch Scarlet Spider Unlimited #1. Weird, it's wacky. So galore, but until next time, swing on back.
Flip.
Hi, I'm one of the High Priests of Khonshu Rey, and I have the sacred privilege of providing you, the loony listener, with a podcast honouring Marvel's very own Moon Knight. So join me and a host of others at Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or support the show by becoming a Patreon member. Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. It's time to get your Khonshu on.